Hi everyone, I'm Rincey and this is Rincey Reads. Today I am here to talk about The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. This is a book that was very kindly sent to me by Riverhead. I am still in shock that this has happened, but I'm somehow on the mailing list for when new Liz Moore books come out because when I read The Unseen World, I don't even know how many years ago it's been now. I would not stop talking about that book. I talked about it constantly. And so I've somehow got on Liz Moore's radar and she has put me on the list of like people who should always get copies of her books. So thank you, Liz Moore. Thank you to Riverhead for sending me an advance copy of this book. So a very brief synopsis. This book takes place in the 1970s mainly. That's like the primary timeline, I would say. And it's taking place in upstate New York. The story begins with a camp counselor who is returning back to the cabin after not being in the cabin for the night because she chose to hang out with her boyfriend, and she discovers that one of the campers, Barbara Van Laar, has gone missing, which obviously is not a good thing, but in this specific situation it's especially not a good thing because her family owns the summer camp that this is all occurring at. And this is also a problem because a number of years ago, Barbara's older brother, went missing and he was never found. So no one knows whatever happened to him. And now it turns out that Barbara's also missing as well. So this book is kind of this part mystery, part literary fiction family story about this family and the people at the summer camp and things like that, looking into both Barbara's disappearance as well as her brother's disappearance and kind of what happened 14 years ago when he disappeared as well. So off the bat, I'll just say that I absolutely adored this book. I have read 3 of Liz Moore's books now. I haven't read her first 2. I believe she has out before The Unseen World, and I really need to pick those up. But this book kind of solidified Liz Moore as one of my favorite authors. I read this over the summer. And I picked this book up during a time when I was having a really hard time just reading in general and finishing books and things like that. And there's something about the way that Liz Moore writes that perfectly appeals to my brain. I just start reading and I can feel my brain and my body just fully relax into the book, which is just a very much a me thing. I can't guarantee that is going to happen for everyone, but I feel if you enjoy Liz Moore's previous books, especially her last one, Long Bright River, this one will scratch a similar itch. So the thing about this book that I would say is that a lot of people pitch this as a mystery book, which kind of, this is a literary mystery, but I feel it's more on the literary and family story and family drama sort of edge of things versus the mystery side of things. If you're a person who reads just pure mystery books, you might find this a little bit disappointing just because the mystery is not necessarily the point of the story. Liz Moore, I think, is just really good at writing family stories. The Unseen World is a story about this daughter who, her father goes missing, and so she's basically just discovering things about her father and his past. Long Bright River follows a sister relationship where the sister goes missing, and so this kind of has a similar theme and tie-in in the sense that a person has gone missing and now you're exploring various parts of the family and the family dynamics. This book does do something that is something that I don't necessarily love, in that it's multiple points of view. I do think that she mostly gets away with it for me personally. Again, probably because her writing style really appeals to me, so I didn't mind it as much. But there are a lot of characters. You follow both Barbara's mom and dad and the grandparents that are a part of this. You see things from Barbara's, one of her camp mates' point of view and things like that, and you see things from the camp counselor's point of view and various people, small little POVs from people in the town and stuff like that. And it also jumps around in time, so pay attention to what timeline you're in and when things are happening. It doesn't necessarily get confusing, but there's just like a lot of information coming at you in different directions that in the end builds out like this full complete story. But I could see that potentially being something that doesn't work for people. And there's like a couple of different like storylines and threads that are going on through this book. This book is kind of on the longer side. I think, I don't know how long this version is. It's almost 500 pages. And so that's also a reason why I'm like, this might not necessarily appeal to people who are like pure mystery readers. But again, if you're someone who reads like literary fiction and like family dramas, I think that this scratches more of that itch more than the mystery itch. The mystery is just like a nice through line or a nice like compelling way to push the story forward. That's really about exploring this like rich family and their complicated messes and all of these different things. But that's not to say that like the mystery is nothing in here. Like I spent the entire book just trying to figure out what happened to Barbara and what happened to her brother and things like that. And there are like lots of times where like Liz Moore drops these little details about like the side characters, and all of a sudden I'm like really suspicious of them and things like that. And it isn't until obviously the end that you get to really know what happened, and you see sort of like how all those details both are playing into what finally happened, but are also kind of red herrings. And it's like interesting to see, you know, why this one mystery of the brother going missing never got solved and things like that. I think that there's just like some really interesting developments that happen plot wise in this book. She writes these really great like chapters that just make you want to keep going. And so even though this is an almost 500 page book, I feel like I finished this pretty quickly because I didn't want to put it down. I like prioritized reading this book, which again was something that was not happening to me very much over the summer. And so I feel like if you are someone who, again, enjoys literary fiction and enjoys the more like contemporary or historical like family stories and things like that, this would definitely appeal to you. I honestly think that this would make a really great like mini-series TV shows if it hasn't been optioned already, because I think that there's a lot of like potentially really interesting ways to bring this to like TV and things like that, to unravel both the mystery as well as the characters behind what is happening here and stuff like that. So yeah, I am a big fan of Liz Moore. I continue to be a big fan of Liz Moore. This is a 5-star read for me personally, because this just like hits everything I love in books. Interesting characters, a mystery, but it's not like too light and fluffy. There's family drama and all of these different things, and it's just like, this checks all of my boxes. So this will definitely be, if not my favorite book of the year, one of my favorite books of the year for sure. Like I love this. I love this so much. I think that if you haven't given Liz Moore a try yet, this wouldn't be a bad place to start. And yeah, if you are someone who enjoys literary mysteries, then this is definitely one that needs to be on your radar. So yeah, those are my quick thoughts on The God of the Woods. Let me know down in the comments below if you've read this book and what your thoughts were on it. I know it's quite the popular book this year. Liz Moore is getting shout outs from Obama now, so like, how much bigger can you get? So yeah, let me know down in the comments below what your thoughts were on it, or if you have any questions, feel free to leave that in the comment section as well. So yeah, that's all I have for now, and thanks for watching.